Hello? Hello? Because maybe the scene. Because you should bring it. Hold on. Hello? Who am there? Hello? Are we clear? Curriculum. So today we'll be walking through this process together by solving these JavaScript codes in FreeCodeCamp. So now let's quickly dive into today's business. Now you can see all the curriculum listed here. We have N free verified certification with FreeCodeCamp core curriculums. We have the likes of responsive web design certification. We have JavaScript algorithm and data structure. We have front-end development library certification. We have data visualization certification. We have relational database certification. We have backend development and API certification. We also have quality assurance certification. We have scientific computing with Python certification. We have data analysis with Python certification. We have information security certification. We also have machine learning with Python certification. And we also have college algebra with Python certification. Then we have a professional certification also from Microsoft, which is the foundational C# with Microsoft certification. And then we have prepare for developer interview jobs. In case you're looking for jobs, there are some preparation lessons here or topics that you can actually venture into to prepare yourself to get better in interviews. Now we have coding preparation, interview preparation, and project heuler. So that will help you become better in nailing that job. So now let's move into the business of today, which is JavaScript. First and foremost, I would like to introduce you to JavaScript. What is JavaScript? JavaScript is a programming language that was majorly built for the browser. It was built for the front-end development. If you don't get it, what is front-end development? Front-end development are what developer builds that you can see on your screen. We have two types of developers in full stack development, which are the front-end developer and the back-end developer. Who are the front-end? They are the one that I said earlier that built what the clients see on their screen. While back-end are the one that works on codes relating to the server, database that you can see. So now JavaScript is mainly built for front-end development, and it works in the browser. Now let's dive into business and talk about JavaScript, which is today's topic. Now let's move into JavaScript and start our works. Now you have to click on JavaScript and then you scroll down. Now they said why HTML and CSS control the content and styling of a page. JavaScript is used to make it interactive. Like I said, in the JavaScript algorithm and data structure certification, you will learn the fundamentals of JavaScript, including variables, array, object, loops, and function. Once you have the fundamental down, you will apply the knowledge by creating algorithm to manipulate strings, factorialize numbers, and even calculate the orbit of the International Space Station. You will get there. Along the way, you will also learn two important programming styles or paradigms: object-oriented programming, which is called OOP, and functional programming, which is FP. Now, let's dive into business, because on this journey, I'll be with you to the end, and I'll be guiding you towards the end of this course, so you won't have to worry. Don't worry, this is the style we're going to use. I will teach you some experience, then I will give you assignment to solve some. So now let's move to basic JavaScript. Basic JavaScript. JavaScript is a scripting language, like I told you, that works in the front end, that you can use to make web page interactive. It is one of the core technologies of the web. Along with HTML and CSS, it is supported by all modern browsers. In this course, you will learn fundamental programming concepts in JavaScript. You will start with basic data structure like numbers and strings. Then you will learn to work with arrays, objects, functions, loops, ifs and else statements, and more. Aren't you excited? You are going to be a programmer very soon. And congratulations on this journey. Now let's dive in. Let's start with, sorry, it has been marked because I have started this course earlier and I've been able to solve. I even have their certification. Now let's start with what? With comment in JavaScript. Wow, comment in JavaScript. Now I want you to understand something. You know, we all know what programming means, writing set of codes, right? I think you have better ideas. So let's start with commenting in JavaScript. Now look at it. It says comment your JavaScript code. Comments are lines of code that JavaScript will intentionally ignore. Comments are a great way to leave notes to yourself and to other people who will later need to figure out what that code does. There are two ways to write comments in JavaScript. We have the single line method and the multiple line method. So now they are teaching us here. So how do we write comment? What is comment? Comment are just a way to communicate in your code. Let me say, for instance, I'm writing a code and I want some codes not to execute. You know, JavaScript, what does the engine do? It executes your line of code and returns some things to you. But in case you want to pass a message, now, as a senior dev or a junior dev, you want to leave a message in that code for somebody else that wants to work on that code. You can use comment to do that, so that JavaScript will ignore that. You can use comment to write any type of language, English language or whatever the language you understand. Now, for instance, let me write a comment, a single line comment here. As you can see, I'm writing, I say, okay, my name is Simeon. Now, I've written a comment in JavaScript. JavaScript doesn't understand my name is Simeon because JavaScript has its own syntax in writing codes. But I've written my name is Simeon here, which means, but you know, for JavaScript not to fall into an error, or for instance, I want to tell the person that this is my code, I wrote this code, then I have to I'm putting my name or author of this code, Simeon. But I have to comment it out because JavaScript will throw an error if I'm writing something it doesn't understand. So that is why we can actually take advantage of comments in JavaScript to do whatever we want. We can use it to leave description, to leave, like I said, we can use to leave notes to ourselves, or to tell us what this code below is doing. We can use commenting. So now, if you can scroll up, they said there are two ways to write comment in JavaScript. We use /2/. Using 2// we tell JavaScript to ignore the remainder of the text on the current line. This is an inline comment. I want you to understand something that programmers, especially beginners, find to understand something that programmers, especially beginners, find difficulty in the sense that it says if we ignore, for instance, I want to comment out this line. I cannot write something here, like I cannot write name and then now write my name is Simeon. If you notice, the only text after this 2 line will be commented out. So when you are trying to comment out a line of code with a single line comment, make sure whatever you want to comment out is after the double /, not before it, because it will ignore whatever you've typed before the 2//. So whatever you type after the 2// is what the JavaScript will ignore. That is how it works. So don't get it twisted. Know that it is after, in a single line comment, it is after what you type after the double, the 2// that will be commented out. Now let's talk about double line comment. If you notice here, after my name is Simeon, if I move down, if I type any other thing, let me say var, you see JavaScript is reading it. Var, you can see it has thrown an error. If I say var name is Simeon, then there is no error. There is no error. It said Simeon is not divine. Oh, sorry. Let me wrap this as a string. This should be a string because it's reading it as a variable. That is why it's saying that. Now it's not showing an error in the console. That is because it has read that as what? As a JavaScript code. So if I should say console.log, console name, I should be able to get Simeon in my console. You've seen that. I should be able to get Simeon in my console. So JavaScript has ignored my name is Simeon. Are you getting it? But if I should remove this and put my name is Simeon, it will throw an error because it will not ignore it. And it's what? It's a syntax error. Look at it. It said syntax error. Missing semicolon. What is it? It doesn't understand that language. If you see, even the editor has actually outlined this and tagged it out that this is absolutely incorrect. This is absolutely incorrect. So now listen up. So for me to comment it out, that is why I have to use what? The single line comment. Then JavaScript will ignore it and other codes will run well. So now let us talk about multiple line comments. Multiple line comments goes this way. It says this is a multiple line comment. To write a multiple line comment, that is, you want to comment out plenty things in multiple line. Then you have to start with a / and an asterisk. Then you write this is a comment. Comment. Then I move to the next line. From Simeon. In a multiple line. Then I can decide to close it here, or I close it in the next line. But let me close it here. Then I close it an asterisk, then a /. Definitely I've closed it. You see, no error, because JavaScript understands that I'm trying to ignite those lines of codes. So that is how we write a single line comment. So now let's just move downward. It said, note, as you write code, you should regularly add comments to clarify the function of part of your code. Good commenting can help communicate the intent of your code, both for others and for your future self. So now he said try create one of each type of comment, and I think we've created that. We've created the 2 comments here. So let me just clear. I can even leave this. I think it should work out. Now correct. I got it because I already created those comments that it wants to see. So now that is done. So let's move to the next one. And this one is saying declare JavaScript variable Oh, as a programmer, you work well with variables. No matter what language you are writing, you'll be working with variable. What is a variable? Variable are syntax that we use, or variable are, let me say, where we store values, where we store things. In computer science, look at it, said data is anything that is meaningful to the computer. JavaScript provides 8 different data types, which are undefined, null, boolean, string, symbol, big int, numbers, and objects. I will explain little of it to you so you can just grab a little knowledge, because in the future we are going to be discussing about it more and you will understand better. Now, undefined are data that are not defined. Null are empty data, empty variables. We have boolean, which is true or false. The value of boolean can only be true or false. We have a string, which is alphanumerical. We have symbols, which are unique, and we have big int, which are big integers, not like very big numbers. And we have numbers which take in numbers, integer, positive integers, negative integers, and float. Float are decimal numbers. We also have objects as a data type. Now, let's dive. For example, computer distinguish between numbers such as the number 12 and string such as 12, dog, or 1, 2, 3 cats, which are collection of character. Computer can perform mathematical operation on a number but not a string. I want you to understand something. Look at this. He said computer distinguish between numbers such as number. This 12 is a number and this one is not a number, it's a string, because a string is always wrapped in either a double quote or a single quote. Are you with me? A string is always wrapped in either a double quote or a single quote. This is a double quote here. And why numbers will not be wrapped in anything? Let me tell you something. Let's come out here. This is a number. If I said 12, 12 is the number. Why this is a string, or this is a string? Is a what? A string. So 12, this and this are correct. In JavaScript, when you are writing a string, you either put it in a double quote or a single quote. It works. They are the same. But numbers, to identify numbers from string are always wrapped. This 12, string 12 is not the same thing as what? Number 12. Because string cannot be used to perform what? Mathematical operation. Do you get it? So note that 1, 2, 3 cats, string can be alphanumerical. Are you with me? String can be what? Alphanumerical, in the sense that you can have numbers there and what? Alphabet. Even let me say some signs like dots and all. You get question mark, comma and all. You can have it there. But numbers only what can only take in positive integers and what? Negative integers with 0. So now let's move on. It says computer can perform mathematical operation on numbers but not string. Variable allow computer to store and manipulate data in dynamic fashion. Variable, that is what we are talking about. Variable, it allows what? Us to store what? Data and manipulate it in dynamic fashion. They do this by using label to point to the data rather than using the data itself. Any of the 8 data type may be stored in a variable. Are you with me? Any of what? The 8 data type may be stored in a variable. Variable are similar to X and Y variable you use in mathematics. You know, sometimes when you have to look for something, you just say X equals to, you know, but you are still looking for X and you can save data in X. You get what I'm saying? That is how they are similar to X and Y variable you use in mathematics. That means they are simple names to represent the data we want to refer to. Computer variable differ from mathematical variable in that they can store different value at different time. We tell JavaScript to create or declare variable by using the keyword var. For us to create a variable to store something, we have to use the keyword what? Var. Now let me say var my name, and I say equals to, let me put something now. Let me just do this. I've created a variable called var my name. The variable is just like a box. a box, a newly created box that you want to save something. Now, let's quickly talk about some things here. Now, oh my God, I need something to clean this place up. So let me talk about, it's just like you having a box, variable. It's just like you having a box. Then I'm naming the box my name. And saving something there so that whenever I need it, I can reuse it. Now, in this box, I'm saving my name. I created a box. I declared a box called my name. I can declare an empty box without saving anything. But me using the keyword var to declare my name means I have declared a variable called my name, but it is empty. I get it is what is an empty what variable, but I have declared it. Are you getting me? It is an empty what? An empty variable that I've declared. So now let's move on. Now they said like this. Now said we should create a variable called our name in JavaScript statements with semicolons. Variable names can be made up of numbers, letters, and $sign or underscore, but may not contain space or start with a number. Listen, when you are creating a variable name in JavaScript, like this, var is just a keyword to creating that variable. Var is just a keyword to creating that variable. But once you to now create a variable name, there are ways JavaScript understand and takes and allow you to create names. In the sense that it says it can contain anything, but it cannot start with a number. You cannot start a variable name with number. Like me now saying variable one my name is an error. Can you see? It says syntax error. Are you getting me? Syntax error. That is to say I cannot start a variable name with what? A number, but it can actually have a number in between or anywhere else. So like this, I can have my name one is correct. This will work. You cannot declare a variable, or you cannot name a variable starting with what? A number. So and a variable cannot take a space. For instance, let me say variable my name, put in space. No, it won't work. You understand? You cannot add space. So if you want to write something that you need, maybe you want to know, you don't want to join the letters together, then it's possible you just add a underscore. It will work. My name. You understand? But it must be together. Now let's talk about we cannot also put hyphen. It won't work. Hyphen doesn't work. Okay? Hyphen doesn't work. What works is that it can take in numbers, letters, $sign, and what? Underscore. That's everything it can take. But it cannot start with what? A number. Are you with me? It cannot start with what? A number. So now let us talk about, let's go back and finish up what they asked us to do. They say we should create a variable called what? Use a var to create a variable my name. So my name. So now let's run our code and see if we get it. Good, we got it. So now let's move to the next one. So now what are they asking us to do there? So they said storing value with the assignment operator. In JavaScript, you can store value. You can store a value in a variable with assignment operator. Now what it's saying is that I have saved a variable my name. I have declared a variable my name, and I want to save something inside. Like I want to save my name, Simeon. Are you getting it? It's the value I want to save. How do we do that? In JavaScript, after declaring var my name, I can now save Simeon. This is what we call an assignment operator. It's called what? An assignment operator. Why? This is it. So when you declare a variable, you can assign something to it by saying var my name So listen up. Now I want you to understand what this means. Whenever you want to use Simeon that is saved in my name, you can whenever you call my name in any of your code, then it will be replaced automatically with what? Simeon. Just like you storing x equals to 2. When somebody give you in a mathematical operation, they said x plus y equals to 3. They now said if x is 2, what is y? You already know that x is carrying what? And save 2. X is 2. So wherever s is, you replace it with what? 2. That is the same thing a variable is doing. This variable name is storing this value Simeon. So whenever I want to use Simeon, I will just put that what? Variable name. Are you getting me? So for instance, it will make my code easier. Now I created a variable called Simeon. Let's move on now. Let's come down here and say Simeon. And I want to say console log console dot log console.log Simeon. Now we have Simeon, but I want to still work a lot of things with Simeon. Will I keep writing Simeon every time? So I can just create a variable, save Simeon. Then whenever I need Simeon, I'll just what? Call that variable. In the sense that let me create a variable called Simeon up here and say var my name to Simeon. Yeah, I can come here and console log what? Simeon will still work. I can come here and console log what? My name. You see, it works. I can even I can come here and say, okay, console log my name plus a boy. Now you see it said Simeon is a boy. Now I'm reusing Simeon because I already saved Simeon to a what? A variable. That is how it works. So that is how we declare variable. Now let's move back. It said in JavaScript you can store a value in a variable with an assignment operator equals the equals sign. So it said my variable equals to 5. This assign the number value 5 to my variable. If there are calculations to the right of the equals to operator, those are performed before the value is assigned to the variable on the left operator. Now listen up, I love this. Listen up and focus on this. It says if there are any calculation to the right of the equal sign, then operators equal operator, those are performed before the variable. Now let me tell you something it means. It's telling me that I didn't mean variable num. Let me say number. Num means number is equals to 2. Then if I say and I want to call numbers, console log numbers. Listen up. Num. Now, what are we getting? 2. But it says when you are assigning a value to a declared variable, whenever there is a calculation in the right side of what? Of the operator sign, it will first do the calculation before saving the result to the variable. Now, if I should say 2 plus 3, now what are we getting? Variable what is 5. What happens here is that var num equals 2 plus 3. It has saved, it did not just save 2 to the variable. It actually computes them and now save what? 5 here. Then num is what? Is 5. The value of num is what? 5. That is why it's telling me that if there are any calculation, it is always what? Do what? First calculate it before saving it inside the variable. So don't get it twisted. If you are trying to save in number 2, you cannot just put 2 plus 3. It will do the calculation and sum it out to 5 and save 5 into what? The variable. That's how it works. So now it says first, look at this code. It says var my var, then my var equals to 5. First, this code creates a variable named var. Then the code assigns 5 to the value. There are ways of assigning values to a variable, in the sense that you can decide to assign it when you are declaring your variable, and you can decide to assign it after you have what? Declared your variable. Look up here now. Now, if you can see, we said var num equals to 2 plus 3, right? We can as well define our what variable and come down and say num equals to, num equals to 5. What happens here is that it's still 5. Listen up. What we did here is that we first declared num without assigning any value. What this does is that we have declared a variable called what? Num. That var keyword is just telling JavaScript num is a new variable we just declared. But num is not having any value. It's just like we're creating a box, not putting anything inside. You get? And you know, if I should bring in a box here now, if I should place it on a table here and it's empty, nothing is there. It's just like a variable, but I've already declared a box to save something that is empty, right? Now, then I can later save something by assigning with equal sign. So if I say num equals to 5, definitely I am assigning 5 to that num that I've created. It's me. So now this is what I just did. Is another way of assigning. And I can declare that immediately I was creating my variable, I can immediately assign something to it by saying var num equals to 5. You get what I'm saying? But if I said, okay, I want to create the variable and later store something in it, I can create the variable and later on I say num equals to 5. Is that clear? So that's what has happened here. They said first, this one will first create it and later assign 5. Now, if my var appears again in the code, the program will treat it as if it is 5. Like I told you, if that variable you save something inside is occurring again, it will treat it as its value. Okay. Now it said assign the value 7 to A. How do we do that? He said we should assign value 7 to A. So that is what we just do is to do A equals 7. Then we've assigned it. Then we end it with a semicolon. We've assigned 8 7. So automatically var A is what? Is having the value of what? 7. So let's run. Now, ta-da, we got it. Part. I always greet myself. So now let's move on to what? To the next one, which is saying, oh, donation. So I've always donated, okay? So in case you want to donate, and it's not compulsory, you can always donate to actually help this foundation, FreeCodeCamp. Please, if you have whatever you need to donate, you can donate as low as $5 and all to help them. This is a free one. They are the only platform I know that are teaching or giving access to free content on coding. So for me, ask me later because I've done that. That is personal. Thank you. So now let's move to the next one, which is saying assigning the value of one variable to another. JavaScript has made it because we can assign the value of one variable to another. Now, after a value is assigned to a variable, using the assignment operator, you can assign the value of that variable to another variable using the assignment operator. Now, look here at this example. They said my var. They said var my var. My var is equals to 5. They now said var my num. They now said my num equals to my var. Do you know? Like I said earlier, look at it. Var my var. We've declared a variable called my var, my variable, and we now say my variable is equals to what? 5. Then we now declared another what? Another variable called my num. Then we now said my num equals to my var. What will be my num? My num is also 5 because JavaScript, anytime you declare or assign a value to a variable, whenever you are using the variable, it will be in form of what? It will be using its value. Now here that we are assigning something to my num, we are assigning, it's just like we are assigning 5 because my var will be translated to what? 5. So it says the above declare my var variable with no value, then assign it to value 5. Next, a variable named my num is declared with no value. Then the content of my var, which is 5, is assigned to the variable my num. Now, my num also has the value 5. Now, it said assign the content of A to B. If you should notice here, it said val A equals to 7. Then val B, what is B? They said we should assign the content. And here we must assign it without using 7. What they want us to do is that B to also carry 7. But A is 7. I told you that once you have this, you can come down here. What we just need to do is to say B equals A. What will happen? A is 7. So B equals to A will change to what? 7 in the code, because JavaScript will always treat the value. Whenever you repeat any value saved to a variable, whenever you are repeating such variable, JavaScript will always use that value to replace the what variable. So this is what we are expected to do here. So now we've stored the value of A into what B. So B is also what 7. So let's run. Total, we got it. So now let's move to the next one. Sorry, I think this is a network issue. Now let's go. It said initializing variable with the assignment operator. It is common to initialize a variable to a initial value in the same line as it is declared. I've taught you that. Look at it. You know, before we learned of declaring a variable, then later assigning a value to it. But now we are talking about initializing variable with assignment operator. There's what we call, I want you to understand something. Declaring, assigning, and initializing. Declaring a variable, I want you to D-A-I. I will call this declaring is when you are just creating a variable with a keyword var my name. Assigning is when you are assigning to a variable that is already declared. Are you with me? Assigning to a variable that is already declared, saying my name equals Simeon. That is assigning. But when we are initializing, it means we are declaring and assigning at the same time. Saying var my hobby equals to, let me say, sorry, I have to do playing football. That is initializing a variable when you are declaring and assigning at what the same time. So he said it is common to initialize a variable to an initial value in the same line as it is declared. Look at this. He said var my var equals to 0. And now said we should create a new variable called my var and assign it value. Okay, this actually create a variable called my var and assign it an initial value of 0. And now say we should what? Declare a variable A with var and assign it to the value of what? Of 9. So now let's work on that. So we are using var A equals 9. So we have initialized variable A. So let's run. Todo, we got it. So now let's move on. Now we are talking about declare string variable. Now he said previously you use the following code to declare a variable var my name, but you can also declare a string variable like this, saying var my name equals to your name. Your name is called a string literal. Listen up. Your name is called a string literal. A string literal or string is a series of 0 or more character enclosed in single or double quotes. I said that earlier. Enclosed in single or double quotes. This is what we mean by single or double quotes. Single quotes, let me see Simeon, like I did here, and double quotes is Simeon. So it can take in alphanumerical character, any character. It is what? From a 0 or more character enclosed in a double. You can even, it takes space too. You understand what space means. Are you with me? It understands what space means. So now, it's telling us to what? To create, it said create two new string variable, my first name and my last name, and assign them to value of your first name and last name. So let's create that. So you want to know my last name, no problem. So I will say var my equals Simeon. I love using double quotes. I don't know about you, can depends on what you like. Simeon over my So let's run. I have saved my first name into the variable called my first name and my last name into the variable called my last name. So let's go. Wow, that's good. So let's move on. So we'll be stopping here for now, and tomorrow we'll be moving on. So let's stop here. So I'll actually give you an assignment to work on. So let me give you your assignment. Let's move back to the curriculum of JavaScript. Let's just click here and see where we stopped. I think we stopped in assigning code basic JavaScript. Now we've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we are here understanding uninitialized variable 6. So you'll be working on 1, 2, 3, 4 up to this place. So we're on 4. So tomorrow we'll continue from here. And if you have questions, tomorrow we'll deal about this in the Q&A section. Thank you, and let's call it a day. Bye.